What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto. We are going to talk about Bitcoin today, and I want to get into, this isn't completely how I identify trends, but I want to get into something that is useful for me, at least, in identifying trends. There's kind of like a checklist, if you will, and it involves this purple line here, this RSI here, and price. So we can see here, right, on a daily time frame, we take away everything else, we can see that regardless of what Bitcoin did in the past, from low point here to high point, this is an uptrend, right? You've got lows, highs, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Like, this is an uptrend on a daily time frame. And you can see it, but seeing it can be misleading at times, right? Like, you can see here, uptrend, but really we were just still in a downtrend. We had more, it was just more of the downtrend. Or here it looks like a downtrend, but really it was just more of the uptrend. What helps kind of confirm or determine what side of the line you should be on, so to speak, at least for me, has been a culmination of these three things: price, this line, and the long-term RSI. And I'm going to go over what I mean. So whenever you cross above this, before we get into the real TA where I think price is going, which, by the way, it's going to be down, but before we get into that, I want to just say, when price gets above this purple line, that's step one to generating an up move. It needs to get above the purple line. And that's not a bullish thing necessarily. Getting above it here was not a bullish thing. It was, in fact, there was bearish RSI. The line was kind of a floppy noodle. Like, I don't know. There was hope, but if anything, it was a good time to sell. But you got to get above the line. Step one. Step two, RSI needs to be above the 50, the long-term RSI. And then step three, you want to see a positive slope in the purple line. You want to see a change in direction in the purple line. And like down here, it was sloping a little bit, but I wouldn't say that that's positive yet. That wasn't positive yet. There was hope, but there wasn't a lot of volume coming in, and we were showing bearish daily divergence. This should have been in my opinion, an obvious sign time to sell. I bet even if we took a fib from low or from high to low here, I mean, it went right to the 1272, like literally right there. Even the 1414 maybe, right there. Anyways, long story short, that's how or one of the things I use to help kind of identify a change in trend. Like if I thought, no, we're going to go lower, and we pumped here, and I'm like, oh, this is just a bull trap. Okay, well, let's look at the rest of it. Is it a bull trap if this purple line starts to turn up? No. If we're above the 50, no. Like, it's not. It's actually the sign of a new trend. And I wanted to go over all that because I think we're getting that now. Clearly, the bull trend started here. This is the bottom. Clearly it started here, but we didn't. I wouldn't say I would have been confident that it was an uptrend until all this stuff happened. Just like clearly the downtrend started here at the top. And even now, I wouldn't say that I'm like completely. I am pretty confident that we are in a downtrend, that we're still in a bear market, that things are about to go down. I'm definitely pretty confident on that, but there's not, in the charts, there's no reassurance. Man, Bitcoin's dropping right now. Reassurance is coming as I speak, but this is pretty wild, man. I think we're going to see one of the bigger days that we've seen since March. We've got 8 hours left in this day. It's a Monday. We're down 3% already. Wow, man. The biggest day, by the way, was right here, 5.21%. I think we might be in the works of having a bigger day than that. The biggest day that we've had since March, which was a 9% day. Maybe we have a bigger than 9% day. I don't know. But let's get into what I was just saying. So the RSI here is above the 50. It is above the 50, so we don't have that. Price is now just getting below the purple line, but it just got there. We can wick and then close back above it. So we have that for the time being, for the live second. But by the time you watch this, it might, price could be anywhere else. If we go lower, that'll just be more convincing. But step three is that this purple line needs to start sloping down, and it hasn't yet. It started to lose its luster. It's definitely sloping, less high. It's still at an upward slope, a positive slope though. When this bends down, which this will only happen, it'll only bend down once price is below it. It has to be below it, So first off, we got to make sure that price gets below it. But when all of these things happen, mind you, we could already be in a well-established trend. All this stuff happened. Let's see, this was back in November. All this stuff happened in January. This could happen a month and a half from now, where we really get the serious move. You know what I mean? When things, I mean, if it was serious now, it could generate this bend and all these things a lot faster for sure. You know, it could be, and we have been moving sideways for a while. I kind of am expecting things to kick off in the next like from now till the middle of July. I'm thinking, I mean, maybe even just for June. I don't know, but I am really long story short. I'm expecting June to be a very bad month, a very, very bad month, and we're off to a terrific start for that already. But bringing it back to this, we rejected the 50 here. We did not come back above it at all. You know, we're showing signs that we want to go into the oversold zone. And if we really look, the thing that I'm the most excited for right now is on the weekly time frame, this RSI. And see, now we're at a position on the weekly time frame where, you know, it's got 6 days, 9 hours left. But if we close around here and start showing bullish moves, this could be a bounce off the 50, much like this daily is a rejection off the 50. And I promise you the weekly bounce would be more significant than a daily rejection. It would definitely be. But I don't know if I see that happening, man. I think on a daily time frame we are going to go lower. I think at the end of this week will cross below the 50. And when that happens, I'm going to get extremely bearish. And I mean extremely bearish, man. Because, I mean, I've gone through and I've done this a few times. Let me see actually. We're on the index now, not on the Coinbase chart. We're on the index. I'm going to take away all this stuff so we have more to look at. Every single time that the RSI has gone into this overbought zone, the black zone, right? It's above this little purple band here. The black zone on the bottom is the oversold. The black zone on the top is the overbought. Anytime we've gone from overbought in the RSI to below the 50, when we measure that in price, when we take it to the price, right, the minimum drop that we've seen was 52%. 52%. You can see from here, from top to bottom, right? And this, when I say drop, I mean before going back above the 50. Like here, down here, and then up. It went above the 50. I didn't count this as the low from here. I counted this as the low. You know what I mean? But we were overbought. We were still overbought over here, even where I measured it from. We were overbought. Went below the 50, and the lowest point before we got back above the 50 was right there, 55% drop. You know, this part here from high to low, that's a 52% drop. This is actually the smallest drop we ever saw, using this kind of idea of being overbought and going below the 50. And we can keep going back, you know, we can keep, and that's the difference. You know, these were overbought, they came back down, but they didn't go below the 50. So I'm not measuring these lows. I'm only measuring it when we go from being overbought to going below the 50. That's it. That's the straight parameter for it. You can go back and do it yourself. I'm not going to go back and waste time and do it. I might make another video kind of further explaining this. You know, maybe later today or tomorrow. I might have it all pulled up so I don't have to like spend a lot of time, you know, making it and stuff. But I've already explain more than I feel like I wanted to begin with. The main point is that I do expect once this RSI goes below the 50, once this happens, that it'll be indicative that this was a major top, a very major top, in the sense that we are going to drop 52% or more. And that would take us to new lows. That would definitely signify that this is a major top. And it should be obvious, you know, it should already be obvious in my opinion. The fact that we had a bearish engulfing candle afterwards, we had no volume come in after this candle at all. The only volume that's come in has been to the downside. There's no interest up here. The world economy, you know, the economy of the world, the fact that we do have a pointing down weekly line now. We've got, you know, we do have this RSI is above the 50, but price is below the line. We've got 2 out of 3 things needed. And I bet, you know, once this happens, man, wow, price is dropping right now. We're right there, man. We are right there. If today's much lower, today goes much lower. If this week goes much lower, which we have 6 days and 9 hours left, so a lot can happen. It can go lower, it can come back up, but this is about to be validated right now. Like today, this week might be the validation of my theory, of my notice that for 100% of the time, anytime Bitcoin on the weekly scale has gone from overbought to below the 50 on the RSI, and the RSI parameter I use is 10 for my short-term RSI. Long-term is 123. You can measure it yourself if you want to. Anytime it's gone from being overbought to under the 50, what price has done from the time it topped in the overbought zone to the time it bottomed below the 50. It could be oversold when it bottoms. It's normally around here. I don't know, but generally, not generally, every single time, 100% of the time, the smallest drop from high to low was 52%. 52%. So I don't know, man. We are at the forefront of this right now. It's literally happening. Bitcoin is down almost 4% right now on the day. Man, this is crazy. I wish I could live stream this right now. This is when it would be super exciting. I am going to start doing live streams, guys. Let's see. This is crazy. This is crazy. This might be one of the biggest days we've had since March. Genuinely. We might be having it right now. I'll tell you what. If you're bulls right now and you're thinking that this is going to hold, that these 3 lines are going to hold, or three attempts, this touch point's going to hold after having a little fake rally with no volume and you just sold into it, like very convinced, like this, man, rejecting the 50, this does not look good, man. And I'm happy about it because I'm sitting on the sidelines. I'm definitely, I'm not in crypto right now. Rejected the 60 here. We're coming down. Man, this is looking like a good week. Once this happens, once this closes below the 50, if it happens, we don't have it yet. I think there's a lot of conviction that's going to happen. We already have 2 out of 3 of the criteria to confirm that we're in a downtrend. If we get the confirmation we're in a downtrend, what does that say about this? What does that say about this? It just says the same thing that I've been saying, man, that this was not the start of a bull trend. It was actually this on a larger scale. If we pump it out to the monthly, this was a bull trap. This is a bull trap. It was a big bull trap, man. Look at that. It's perfect. That is a perfect looking bull trap. They got you, man. They got me. I literally did think I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I have been convinced that that this was going to go lower than this the whole time. I recently, in the past month, kind of felt convicted with that. I wasn't sure if the bull trend was still going on, but I definitely, once we broke above 28,000, 29,000, once we broke 30,000 especially, but I over in these months I was kind of like lost. I'm like, I don't know, that might have been the bottom. Like, can't deny it. We're around a year from the halving. But then I started doing more research, man, and just looking at it, and this bear market, if it isn't obvious yet, it's going to be obvious when it's too late. It is different than any bear market we've experienced in Bitcoin's history. And with that, with this weak little move that we had, saying everyone's comparing this move to like any bounce that we've had. Well, let me just show you real quick from bottom to top. That's what a bull market bounce looks like. 343%, right? There we go. From let's do this one down here. From bottom to like relative top, like right here. 211% move. That's a bull market bounce. Okay. Right here. Bottom to high, 262%. That is a bull market bounce. We've had 1, 2, 3 bear markets. This is our 4th one that we're in right now. So it makes sense, right? If we measure the top to bottom or the bottom to top here, that's a 100% bounce. That's less than half of the weakest bounce we've seen so far. This is not a bull market bounce. This is a bear market bounce. We are in the ABC pattern right now, man. We are in it. We are literally in it. Let me show you. Here's your A. Oops, didn't draw it right. Here's your B. Here's your C. We're in this right now. This is what we're in. It's called a zigzag. Look it up, research it, delve into it, because this, I think, is the roadmap for what is to come in the coming months. And the way I have it drawn, I try to match wave C to be the length of wave A, and it's a little bit shorter. This puts us in April of 2024. Puts us at a price of 8,568. Now, it doesn't need to do that, but if it's going to be the same length, and at higher prices, okay, well, now we're in December of 2024. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we will bottom before the halving, maybe even the month of the halving, but I think this is going to be the closest bottom to that Bitcoin halving date that we've ever seen in any market, any bear market in Bitcoin's history. And I've been saying that since probably like right around here, something like that, like something somewhere around there. Yeah, probably like for the last year I've been saying that. Or no, I guess I haven't been saying it on this channel since like June, September, August, somewhere in there. Anyways, this bear market's different, man. That's the main point of what I'm trying to say. That this bear market is different. And on the weekly scale and on the monthly, man, we rejected the 50. We literally did. We had a little fake pop up and rejected it. It's bad, man. You know, before I end the video, let's get into the ribbon. Let's just check it out real quick. Wow, man, we are down a lot today. You know, on the monthly scale, I'm not too worried about the monthly. It takes a lot of time for things to happen, so I'm not going to go too far into this. It doesn't look good, to be fair, but it is in a bullish posturing overall, so I'm really not worried about the monthly at all. On a weekly scale, we're below the yellow line. We are below the yellow line. We have 6 days left in this week, so, you know, a lot can happen. We can come back up for sure in 6 days, but right now we're below the yellow line. If this weekly closes below the yellow line, it is all over but the crying, man. Let alone all the other stuff I've said. Like, let alone this is all this is would be a contraction. The ribbon is getting tight, wound, and then we are shooting through. I think we're about to, man. I think the big move has yet to happen. On a daily scale, bad, very bad. We have a nice rejection off of this ribbon. A little fake out to the top side here. There's not a lot of volume coming in, I don't think. Let me see if we can see it. Yeah, not a lot, but man, we keep dropping. This might not be the right chart to use for volume either. BTC, USD, Binance. Nope, not a lot of volume. I'll go back to Coinbase. Yeah, not a lot of volume at all, but that's okay. You know, maybe it comes in the form of buying it back up to the upside. Maybe this is a fake move to the downside. We'll see. But I don't know, man. With this ribbon, it looks pretty bad. Looks pretty bad to me. Anyways, yeah, that's the other thing to watch for, man. On the weekly time frame, that RSI going below the 50 is something to watch for. But this too, on a weekly scale, if we close below this yellow line, more importantly, if we get a candle that opens and closes below this yellow line, this one opened up here. It's going to close. It could close. It might not. There's 6 days left. It could come back up. But when a candle opens and closes below this yellow line, that'll be when it's go time. Go time to the downside, man. That's when this overall 52% to the downside move or greater. You know, I say 52% every time, but that's the minimum. This is the minimum expectation, is 52%. It could be more grand than that. You know, from bottom to top here, the 1272 doesn't start until a 60% move. 1618's down here at a 68% move, 67% move. 1886, we're talking about a 73% move. And yes, all of those are possible. In fact, I think it's more common that we've had 70% moves to the downside than anything else. And in recent times, the last two have been 50% moves. So are we going to have a third 50% move, or are we going to go back to the norm? I don't, you know, I'm kind of expecting the norm, which might be a 70% move. We literally, I am expecting prices below $10,000. But that'll take weeks, months, you know, later part of this year, if not the beginning of next year. It's not all going to happen overnight. If it does, that'll be crazy. If it happens overnight, get in, because it won't be short. It'll be very short lived. But wow, man, wow, we are down 4.9% on today, 5% as I'm reading it. It's crazy. This might be the biggest daily close on a body basis that we've seen since March. This would be cool. It'd be really cool. And in my opinion, with everything else going on, man, it'd be the start of this move to the downside that we're talking about, that I've been talking about for a while now. You know, I didn't expect this upside here at all. I was definitely calling for more downside here. But I don't know when. I don't know if it was like the first week that I started making my videos again. I noticed this zigzag pattern. I noticed it while making a video, actually. And I did notice that we were in some kind of down and up formation here. Like, I was wondering, but then I looked up the zigzag. I'm like, that sounds about right. And I looked into it. I'm like, I think it's exactly what we're going through. I'm going to make another video on that just to further explain it. But anyone watching this video, if you want to know where Bitcoin's going, look up Elliott wave theory. Look up the zigzag Elliott wave and get into that, because I think that's exactly what this is, man. I could be wrong. again, I'm getting excited right now over a bearish looking week. It's definitely a bearish looking week, but we still have over 6 days left. So, by Friday, this could be a bullish looking candle. If we came all the way back up, volume came in, and we were above these candles, like it'd be a very different conversation than we're having right now. So, I am optimistically bearish. I'm not even like cautiously bearish because it does look really bad, but I'm not going to toot my horn too much yet. Not until we get a close below this yellow line, or a close where the RSI on the short term is below the 50. Not until both of those things happen. When both of those things happen, I will toot my horn. I'll definitely it'll be a more bearish video. But for now, that's all I got for you guys. I would definitely, I don't know if I would go short or long or anything right now. I think just sitting on the sidelines is perfectly fine in my opinion. If you're a trader and you want to trade, going short might be a good call, but after having the biggest day that we've had in quite some time, I don't know if it's a right move to go short right now. But we are kind of breaking through the sun. It might, if you're a breakout trader, this would be the area where you would go short. So I don't know. Before I go, let's just look at the fibs real quick, real quick. From bottom to top here. Breaking through the 382, man. Yep. Stair-stepping. Found support on the 236 here. Came up to the 0.069. Broke down to the 382. Resisted the 236. Breaking through the 382. And generally, when we break through the 382, you don't find support on the 0.5. You find support on the 618. So, generally, that's the next line I would look. On a daily scale, if we close below this line like this, and then tomorrow goes lower, or at least proves that the 382 is resistance, the 618 becomes inevitable at that point, in my opinion. So 23,300, 23,400 is coming in hot and maybe lower. And when I say coming in hot, I mean over the next couple days, probably. And maybe the next couple weeks, but we'll see. I would think the next couple days when we, maybe we just go straight through. Maybe we, peter around for a second and find resistance and then go down. I don't know. I think the time of moving sideways is over. I think we are breaking out of this formation right now. Unless, short of a total bullish reversal right now, it's looking like a bearish break to the downside. But there's no volume. There's really no volume coming in, which it's not ideal, I guess, but it doesn't need to come in. You don't need volume for a move. It's just nice to see. It helps you, validate. It's like, okay, you got a lot of people agreeing on what they, where the price is going right now. But I don't know. Other than the fact there's no volume, that really sets it up. Anytime that I've seen this, when you get a big body with no volume, that really sets it up to just get engulfed to the other side. But we'll see. It just takes time. Anyways, a weekly time frame, for this fib from bottom to top. Below the 236, we looking at the 382, which by the way is right around that 618. Yeah, they're basically in the same area. Yep. Wouldn't surprise me. Maybe we come down to this 618. I don't know. I do ultimately think we're going to go lower, lower than 15.5, but yep. All right. I think I'm done. Oh man, it's happening right now. We are below the 50. Not convinced yet. I like the look of it, but I'm not convinced yet. We'll see. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.